Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Sorry, I've got two windows open. I'm unprofessional. So, everybody, I'm Kurt Wooker Jr. Welcome to the CoinGeek weekly live stream. This is the probably second to the last show for the year. So, for those of you celebrating Hanukkah, I think we're like halfway through the holiday. And then for you Christmas folk, I think the 12 days of Christmas start this evening. So, be holidays. If you're celebrating something else, good luck to you. Enjoy whatever it is you're doing. Have fun dancing in the woods. I'm cool with that too. So, everybody, we are live. I would like you to fill the troll box. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. Our guest today is Paul DeBuck, who is one of my favorite guests, actually, because he is both really into he has a beautiful enterprise product wallet, all this other stuff that integrates with the EU banking system. But then he's super artistic and he's into the JPEGs and he's got some cool stuff that he'd like to announce on that front. So prepare yourselves. It's going to be a fun show. It's not going to be like some of the grueling episodes that we do about law and politics and the Bitcoin Civil War. This one should be a good time. Okay, Alex Moon has just let me know that the 12 days of Christmas start on Christmas Day and they end on January 5th. So I am not a Christmas historian. Sorry, everybody. That can be. I'll change my profile. It'll be Kurt Wooker Jr., not a Christmas historian. So we're going to talk a little bit about sandcastles. My article that published today, I now publish every Tuesday, so I can talk about my article for a little bit on my show. Talking about basically the history of like soft forks and some of the problems that have gone into basically compounding layers. I use the term bubblegum interdependencies because they just kind of take the bubble gum and just keep spreading new layers on top and hoping that it holds their rattle box together. But the problem is that they keep creating extra problems for themselves. So if you were to talk to like Gregory Maxwell and Adam Beck and Luke Dash Jr. and some of your typical faces of Blockstream types, they will tell you that ordinals on BTC are an attack. Thank you for adding the not Christmas historian. So we have this problem where ordinals, they see it as an attack. Like this is a coordinated blasting of spam. It is a DDoS attack. They're literally talking about this is cyber terrorism. I've seen people have sent ordinals to the NIST CVE library now to look into as an official cybercrime thing that needs to be looked into by the professionals. And the problem is that what ordinals actually are is the product of a mix of a couple of things. Two very contentious things that a lot of people did not like, but the two big ones are SegWit and Taproot. So if we did not have SegWit and Taproot, the way they have used the discounts by sort of picking and choosing the special things that both SegWit and Taproot do in Bitcoin Core, well, then ordinals would have to pay, frankly, exponentially more money in sats, which equates to a lot more money in dollars in order to use their chain, and probably would have never existed the way that they do in the first place, except for as some kind of novelty. But they're not a novelty. There's a couple of BRC20 tokens that are have over $1 billion in market cap, and there's tons of trading happening on the BTC chain. And it's really, really upsetting the home node thing because they're struggling to keep the node on their mom's computer in sync, and that's a real problem for your cypherpunk manifesto fans. So so I wrote about it. I sort of explained, like, just in a real basic terms, like, what is RBF, what is Lightning Network, what is SegWit, what is Taproot, and just kind of give everybody a view on these things, and then sort of talk about politically how each of those things has failed in their own particular way and has now led to what looks to be a coming new Bitcoin civil war over there on the BTC side. They are literally, Max Kaiser's talking, we've got a fix coming. Luke Dash Jr. went and started a mining pool with Jack Dorsey specifically to censor and stop relaying ordinal transactions. And so there's all kinds of discord happening over in the BTC side. And I just kind of explained, well, here's why. And then I close by saying, basically, imagine what the BlackRock due diligence people are thinking if they're looking at all of this and saying like, maybe this isn't as sophisticated and mature as we were led to believe. Meanwhile, we've got BSV over here ossified, right? No hard fork changes, no nonsense, basically since 2020. Now I know that's not a real long time, but it's actually a longer time than Taproot's been around in BTC. And basically, the conversation is about provenance and what it takes to build a sound money. Sound money is about remaining the same over time, and if you can't do that, you're not a sound money. So check my pinned tweet or my pinned post on X, which is a lot harder to say. You have to explain it now. So pin tweet was easier. I'll read it here. Thank you, Mr. Moon. Alex Moon at the keyboard today, ladies and gentlemen. He is also growing a Santa beard for the holidays, and he is drunk off his ass because it's Christmas season. I'm kidding. I just got Alex fired. I'm so sorry. So, all right. We're going to. He's fine. He's been looking for a way out. So, okay. Just kidding. I'm kidding. We're all in trouble now. Okay. Mr. Moon, please queue up.
The traditional banks, they suffer from huge legacy problem because they have, hundreds, thousands of branch to run. Whereas people like us, we just have our own security, in terms of cloud and all the necessary things that we have to have in place. And that's why we're passing all those benefits to our users.
For more from Michael Simeon, join me, Charles Miller, on this week's CoinGeek Conversations.
Oh,
pretty cool.
Pretty cool. That's the music, man. It's like super.
Yeah,
super
the whole
dramatic.
thing. Yeah, the music, the colors, the images. I love it. It's been a lot of work. Hi, Kurt. How are you doing?
I'm quite well. How are you, Paul?
Pretty hyped. I have a few things to share, and as always, I'm really thankful to be on your show. It's quite nice to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming back. So let's talk about, first of all, not the questions yet, Mr. Moon. I'm gonna talk for a sec here. My goodness, it's like you know what? I'm done with Kurt. All right. So a couple things. Let's talk about why a doggy Christmas. Are you a pet lover? And then secondly, I didn't realize that the NFTs were related, and I was surprised to see the MyBanka brand associated. So let's hear the thought process here.
Yeah. Thank you for giving that opportunity. So we always liked bridging things. So there is always the technical aspect of blockchain, of how transactions, ownership, blockchain. Okay, I think most of us we get that, but there is guitars over here. That means that there is art too, and one of the best way to showcase how technical stuff works is to bring art into the equation and just make it happen. And well, as you know, as you just mentioned, we have been building MyBanka for a bit more than 2 years now, and of course we have focused on the banking side and on the Bitcoin side, and of course right now we're introducing the NFT side of things. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to do that in a nice way. And well, we got some inspiration, and we decided that one of the best way to showcase true ownership would be through something that you use and wear every day, like a hoodie, a t-shirt, and a mug. Those are the three things that we're selling as NFTs and wearables. So the idea is that now is the Christmas season. We all want to celebrate. We want to find gifts for the people that we love. And this is a perfect gift. And so it does two things. As always, I'm trying to find equilibrium between the technical side and the artistic side. And technically speaking, it is very interesting because we have minted 999 items, one set ordinals, which now that you just mentioned that, I found it funny that finally we the community have found this protocol on which to settle and agree on. And suddenly these guys at BTC, they say, well, actually, this is spam. Well, actually, we're going to block that. Well, actually, where is your decentralization? What is all this noise about?
Or, well, and I mean, how are you going to pay miners going forward? If it was not for ordinal traffic, the mining revenue on their side would be down like 90% from where it is today if they get rid of the ordinals. It's insane.
You just have to increase the coin cap. That's it. You just mint more coins. What are you talking about? It's an easy problem to solve. How long before they come to this? How long do you think before this happens? No, I'm joking, of course, but that it doesn't make sense to me. That's why we are here on the original Bitcoin. But then how do you take advantage of this technical side? And I thought, well, sweat hoodies and clothing and things that you own, well, they can come with a serial number, which is the case in here. We have 999 exactly items and not one more, and they have a QR code. And actually the nice thing is, whenever you will buy this item, this NFT, you actually get two things. And that's the bridge we always try to build here at MyBank, not only between banks and Bitcoins, but now also between NFTs and wearable items like these items that we are selling. And the goal is, well, the QR code resides on the item itself. And when you buy it, you will, of course, receive a very beautiful, we have put a lot of work, 999 items with different colors, different hoodies, different images, different sizes. You have no idea. I really wish we could go, and it hurts. but I think it's like it's art. Heart must hurt a little bit so that it shows your true love, your true colors, and that's what we have done with a lot of love here into this Christmas Doggies collection. And the goal is to showcase that you can own this thing. You can get the hoodie, and then it has a QR code, and when you scan that QR code, actually it will show who is the paymail owner of that item. So it will show your name and your picture. And people come with privacy issues and say, you can put a pseudonym. Bitcoin, if you read the white paper, says it's pseudonymous. It's not anonymous, and it's extremely private. So it's pseudonymous. You can put any picture there, any pseudonym you want. It will show that. And so imagine you have your hoodie, you scan it, it says, okay, it's mine. There is my face there. But what happened is, the questions I've had is, what happened if somebody goes and take a picture of that QR code and they're printing onto another hoodie? Well, when the third person comes and scans, they will see my face and not their face. They will know it's not their property. It's been stolen, or it has not been. So how do you do transfers? Transfers is like a contract. It's like when you're selling a house. When you sell your house, have the keys to the house. It's not enough to give them and give the house. You have to sign the contract that says this is now your house, and then you give both the technical side, let's say, and the physical side. Here's the same. When you transfer the NFT, you give the item, the hoodie with it, and then everything is settled and it's on chain, and that's a trace of what has happened. And I think it's just beautiful because now we have 999 unique, beautiful items. We have partnered with some suppliers that provide 100% US-based cotton that are above pet. Yes, I was surprised. Like, that's really cool. We tried to find the highest quality. What do you think?
That's great. I mean, U.S. cotton is not super prevalent. Most of it's Pakistani, I think. I think that's where most textile comes from.
Sadly, exactly. So that's what we're trying to do. And so in this case, we have these shirts, we have these hoodies, we have these mugs. And the goal also is that to be able to give that, not maybe just for you, but to give it to your family, and then showcase a unique piece of art, because that's what it is, and a blockchain situation where you can trace and prove ownership and all these kind of things in a fun way. Maybe imagine being in the center of the family room in Christmas and showing off your beautiful hoodie and saying, look, scan me, and
You're right.
have a way to show off this that is both beautiful and working. And so that was our goal, and I think we have achieved it. We want to share that with everyone out there, and thank you for giving us this opportunity.
No, for sure. It's a lot of fun. So why dogs? What was the first of all, why not dogs? That's totally acceptable. I've adopted dogs. I've got a couple of cats now. I'm not opposed to dogs.
Do you? Okay.
Oh yeah, no, I've got two. I have two kittens that we adopted like 2 months ago now. So they're named Blues and Jazz, and
amazing.
So little brother and sister. Okay. But no, I love animals. So
next one will be cats for sure.
So, but we've had rescue dogs and stuff too. Our last good boy died about just before my son was born. So we're like, let's have the kids before we adopt more dogs. And it's been a while, but it's adopting good animals is a good thing. But
do they like do the kids like the cats? Do they
love it. They're obsessed with the cats.
Oh yeah.
Like chasing them, or like they don't understand actually the boundaries of what's healthy. So I was we need to pet the cats. Please don't squeeze the cats.
They might learn that the hard way at some point.
Yes, it happens. So they get a little angry, and my in-laws are here, and they have a little dog, and so if my daughter is carrying the cat around, then they get shocked, and then it's like, time to claw the children. So it's it's its own drama for sure.
Amazing. Well, now that you ask, it's you've seen these NFTs, and we wanted also to distinguish ourselves from all these other, because there are a lot of scams out there. Let's be honest. That's also something that is hard to prevail and not be part of those scams. But the one thing that they did well, and I did like, is that they use a lot of animals, and animals are cute. People like them. They look good. And we were in Christmas season, so it just naturally happened. And it became Christmas Doggies collection, just naturally.
No, that's awesome.
Not more than that. Yeah.
No, that's great. And I mean, it's funny because the Luke Dash Jr. and his cat.
Yeah, he's obsessed, but in a weird way.
Right. I'm obsessed with cat burgers.
Oh my lord! That's something.
Now my train of thought is gone. Oh, so what I was going to say is, as far as art goes and all this stuff, I think a lot of people will criticize me like, this is the BTC people and the BSV people. We've had a couple people in BSV like, these scams. And it's like, first of all, art is fun, even for the sake of art. Like, nobody needs to make money necessarily for art to be good. Obviously, it's nice if you want to make a career of art to earn money making it. But when you think of the greatest art in history, most of the creators were not making money while they were alive. A lot of it is something
they died broke. That's incredible. And then we see all these amazing art that they've done, and they died broke. I just can't believe it.
Yeah. Well, and so I love the fact that what this has done is actually given artists an opportunity to go directly to market with people. And I'm a buyer. Like, I don't do a lot of I don't do any DeFi stuff. I don't really do any of the degenerative whatever, but I like art. And so I buy NFTs. I've actually printed out NFTs and I have them hanging in my house because I like the art. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, it's a big I think it's a big deal for people that actually like to consume it as a connoisseur. And then obviously you need the traders in order for there to be an economy around it. But I think it's really short-sighted for the people that just write it off and it's all, it's trash, it's scammy. I think that's really, frankly, unfair.
You said something there that it gives you the opportunity to a lot of artists to sell directly and enter like a market. And this is so true. I think in some way we're moving away from big companies producing 1 million, 10 million of the very same sweatshirt, t-shirt, etc., and moving more maybe to smaller retailers which will take their content from artists like we are doing, and I think it will be moving more towards that more and more, and blockchain necessarily is a perfect integration for that, definitely.
Yeah.
On the side of selling the stuff, on the side of storing, protecting, tracking traceability, maybe tracking the supply chain, that everybody knows there's a lot of things that can be done there, and it's just it's just too good not to use.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to democratize finance, give normal people the opportunity to have access to first world financial tools in a new way. So, no, I think it's great. What are the details? When does, how are you distributing? Are they sold? Are they minted? Is it a bidding war? How does this get kicked off?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. There are many ways, and you're right. I've been they have these places where you can bid, and it increments. Then you have the open market. You can lock your ordinal. It says I will sell it to anybody willing to give me 2 BSV. There's many ways.
Yep.
And they all have their trade-offs, and they all come with their legal implication as well. And related to that, we are a company. We are doing things based from Belgium, and so there are some things that we have to do. And the way we're doing is we're simply selling through a website called ChristmasDoggies.com. And so cool. Yes, and so whenever you buy that, we actually have a server that will get called and that will mint the NFT. So when you receive your package, not directly when you buy it, when you receive the package, because we have to be sure that you have, sometimes the order gets canceled, sometimes there is a refund, sometimes there are many things. So we cannot mint it directly. But we get a webhook calling our server saying, okay, this person has received the package. At that point in time, the NFT gets mint, and you will get an email saying, in this case, since we are building MyBanka, you will be able to redeem your NFT through MyBanka as a one-sat ordinal, and it will appear there in your MyBanka wallet. So that's our way also to introduce the digital asset side on MyBanka. And of course, we are looking at all the wallets for compatibility. So that question that comes, indeed, does MyBanka wallet support one-sat ordinals yet? The answer is yes. And right now it supports the Christmas Doggies collection. But as we move on, we have decided to go with the approach of, selecting collections that we'll be adding, instead of just showing the whole, because it's kind of a mess, the whole mess of the collections that are publicly available on the blockchain, because that would be confusing for users. So we'll be adding more and more, but we're starting with the one that we have crafted with a lot of love and time and sweat. And so you will receive that NFT on your MyBanka wallet, and we will allow you to transfer that on any other compatible wallet, preferably through PayMail. And so there is a thing, maybe a little bit technical, that I really want to thank you for, because there is this problem when you are tracing the ownership of an NFT. Say, okay, I buy a hoodie, and then I've got the NFT, but I want to give it to someone, and I want to do that properly. I transferred NFT from my wallet to his wallet, and I gave the physical item. And he does the same, and there is a chain. There's 10 transfer over time, over a few years, that happens, and you have a chain of 10 transfers. And the problem is, and I'm just explaining so that for our listeners, they can understand a little bit. The problem is, how do you know if you meet the 10th person who is the owner of this hoodie NFT, Christmas Doggies collection, beautiful hoodie, and he wants to give it to the 11th person? The 11th person comes and say, okay, please show me that transaction where you received it. But the problem is that transaction alone does not tell you that is the certified original NFT, because you don't know whose hand it has been through. So we need to do what is called the back to Genesis. Exactly. Problem. And we need to find and go through all the 10 previous persons until we find the minter. In this case, it's MyBanka. We have minted those, and say, okay, it traces correctly back to the original minter. I know that the whole chain is correct and valid, and I will trust you are the 10th person, and I will be the 11th person. We don't do that. Nobody does that. We don't want to do that.
Mhm.
And so that's why I want to thank you, Kurt, because thanks to your service, Jungle Bus, which is amazing, I totally recommend. It is
Thank you.
exactly what you're doing. That's it, man. Come on, it's
Yeah.
so. You want maybe to talk a bit how that works?
Please. Yeah. Well, it's, I explain it to people, but I think it'd be wonderful for you to explain it. And actually, since you bring up the back to Genesis problem, and it does more than that, like it was built to do a number of things, but the thing that made us decide to build it was when this debate was happening like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember Dean Little and Jack Liu and some of his people all, trying to say like, how do we solve this back to Genesis problem? And it literally spawned the Novo Bitcoin and a couple of these other side fork basically of BSV. And I remember responding and saying, well, miners will just create an API that allows you to just check what the provenance of your token is. And people are like, nobody's going to build that. And I was like, okay.
Call me nobody.
Exactly. Kurt nobody Wookert. So literally that was the thing that finally, because we've been talking about like how to serve like map data and some of these other things. And Luke Ronas and Siggy and a couple other guys, we finally were like, okay, like let's scope this out. Let's actually start to build it. And now, there's a lot of people using it for a lot of things, and it's really good because it's made once at Ordinals way easier to use than it would have been otherwise. So, but
any other chain, any other service, any other competitor, it's really just works. And I think that the more we will facilitate and make it easy for developers to use and leverage these tools, the bigger the reach, the bigger the possibilities. So definitely that's a really good tool. Try out Jungle Bus, guys.
Can you explain like what is the process? Like how is MyBanka accessing the one sat indexer and Jungle Bus and all? Like if you explain the stack, I think that would be really good for somebody else or for people to hear it from somebody else.
Yeah, of course. So it's simple. We have minted 999 items that are our Christmas Doggies collection. That's pretty simple. But then when you will buy it, we will know about that. And when you will receive it legally, that's what we have to do to make sure you're truly the owner. When you receive that package, we'll know that as well. And we will assign that NFT to your MyBanka paymail at first. That's the first step. When it's in your MyBanka paymail, at that point in time, we don't know what you will do with it. You can transfer it, you can sell it, you can exchange it, you can do many number of things. And so we will need to start tracking the ownership of these things. And that's where Jungle Bus enters, because Jungle Bus is constantly listening to all and every transaction of the blockchain, which is crazy if you think about it, because I think, what are we now? Like millions of transactions every 24 hours at the very least, almost.
It's a lot every day. And then the peaks show us like, oh, okay, I guess we need to optimize. So a lot of people complain about the stress tests, and they are stressful, but we get good data. We've actually just in the last 3 months completely changed out the way that we handle the whole underlying database, because we realized, oh shoot, like yes, it was scalable because we designed it a year and a half ago, and it was really, really good for then. And now it's like, oh, now there's like 50 times more traffic on a daily basis. So
it's incredible. And it's a good sign. It's a healthy sign, actually.
Yes.
It's growing transaction. It's a very, very representative number of the health of a chain. And I think we surpass every other chain, maybe, or maybe there's one or other.
There might be one or two out there doing something specialized, but not that I'm aware of.
And so you with Jungle Bus, well, I guess it makes sense since you're a miner, but even it means that you're listening to all these transactions, and that's the beautiful thing. Every time you will see this Genesis minting of the 999 NFT that we have done, and that you will see a new transaction that assigned ownership from the Genesis to a person who bought it, the first one, to a next person who he sell it to a next person who gifted to, etc., etc. You keep track of that. And the good thing is, when the 10th person comes to me and says, hey, look, this is the original, I don't have to trust him, and I don't have to go through all the hoops and steps to see whether it actually traces back to the origin. I just go to Jungle Bus, say, hey, look, I have this transaction. Is it really from that origin? Is it really minted by my banker? Is it an original Christmas Doggies collection, or is it some fake copy or something? And you will tell me immediately, that's the guy, that's it, that's the right one. And then I can know, okay, I can transfer this, I can trust that. That's just how it works. Yeah.
That amazing. We're already more than halfway through this show. So we should probably start taking some questions. I see Alex has a few good starred ones. So let's bring them up, Mr. Moon. And then we'll at some point around 10 minutes left in the show, we'll play the ad again, and we'll do closing comments. So okay, Mr. Vidal, question: if art is subjective, can a token itself be considered art?
What do you think, Kurt?
I do. Now there's a couple ways to think about it too, because in Bitcoin with ordinals, the data itself is included, like it is on chain, and so the token is bundled up with the observable piece of the art. But if you recall, or anybody wants to go look around for old 2018 memes, the whole purpose of that is looking for aesthetically pleasing hashes. So like a random hash that has like 20 leading zeros, for example. It's really rare because it's uncommon. Or sometimes you get a hash that reads like a phrase, for example. Like it might have your name or a phrase embedded into it. Like that kind of thing. I think the novelty of mathematical scarcity that occurs at random, like that kind of stuff is really cool. What do you think?
Well, no, firstly, I agree with you, but what it makes me think of is these machines we have, like you put a 5 or a quarter there, and then you can actually kind of press it and show a picture on it. And that's kind of like what's going on with the one-shot ordinals. You take one singular Satoshi, and as you said, you put some data there and they go together, and we could say that's a colored Satoshi, colored coin that has these data. But contrary to the metal quarter, this can actually then change and evolve over time. So definitely a token can be art, and it is actually.
Yeah, no, I love it. Mr. Moon, Robin Smith, can you explain the difference between colored coins and ordinals? Colored coins is a generic term, and ordinals are a specific implementation of a colored coin.
Wow, couldn't have said it better.
Thank you, Paul. Let's bang on another one. There's the doggy.
Okay,
all right,
thank you.
Let's talk doggy website.
Yeah, half a second here. Just like if you go to christmasdoggies.com, you will find actually our website, and you will find all of the 999 NFTs that we've minted, the different colors, the different art with the QR code. You will see it's a little bit of a doggy on different situations. And we wanted to remind also this idea of art. It feels like you're in a museum. You're looking at a painting on the wall with its description, the beautiful art, and even now the QR code showing, okay, this is how you can check ownership, track all kind of the minting, the life, all kind of data. And that's what we came out with. And we think it looks good. We think it looks beautiful. Since we have selected quite high quality material from a few suppliers that actually provided this, of course, there are some quite high price, but we have a range of price for all kinds of wallets. And we have a range of also of piece of clothing, so like t-shirts, different colors. We have the mugs, and the price are also based on rarity. So some mugs are more rare than others, and some t-shirts are more rare than others, but they're all unique, and you will see the number. And that's what was really tough. They're all different. And we had a lot of work to do that. So you can get there. You can get those. You can go to christmasdoggies.com. You will buy your first piece of digital art that really shows the fusion between fashion and digital asset, and how we can bring these two things together into one, and show it in a beautiful way for the holiday season. That's it. That's as easy as it gets.
I have a very practical question.
Yeah.
Are they dishwasher safe mugs?
Oh yes, of course. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yes. They are the most expensive actually mugs that they have, and
Yeah.
we're doing very little margin on these ones. But by the way, if you care about these, we went for the t-shirts, the mugs, and the hoodies for 100% cotton, PETA approved source
Ah,
materials. Yes, dishwasher approved. It will also washing machine. It will remain there. It will not move at all. It is not
nice.
generally, how do you say, you don't get allergies out of those. So it's
Yeah.
really, you will feel that it's a strong quality. So it's not like the lightest t-shirt is like the boldest one.
Good.
So those are the ones I like. So that's what we went for. Everything, even the cheapest
Great.
are these. That's just how it is.
Yeah. No, I love the art. Is the art like, who's the artist? Are they doing other collections, or where did
Yeah.
you find the artist?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we actually partnered with a studio that just builds art. They are specialized in NFTs, art building, and we went to them. We said we have this idea. We would like to see some dogs. Since it's the Christmas season, we'd like to see some Christmassy theme. For example, this guy is I don't know if you does it remind you of something, of a movie? It didn't click when the artist told me that, but he
Yeah.
said it's the thief from Home Alone.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
sure.
wasn't.
Yeah, he's got the
Yeah,
whole
maybe.
outfit. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
Marv.
exactly. Yeah, voila. So it's like, okay, that's cool actually. So
Nice.
they had a little bit of freedom too, and I think it just turned out so good looking, and we have a bit
Yeah, they're
of
fun.
all the colors for everybody, whatever your taste is, and you just can go there. This is one of my favorite, and of course they're numbered. So maybe you have your favorite number. It's 85 too. Well, you can
Sure.
get that one, and yeah, that's the goal here. That's
Nice.
it.
No, it's cool. I'm a sucker for a good NFT, especially one with like commercial, there's something behind it. Plus I like your actual business too. So I may have to be a supporter. I'm actually sitting here with I wear my Twitch hoodie. I'm one of the people
Do you?
oh yeah, I wear it. I go for daily walks and I wear my Twitch
You
number. What do we
see?
got?
Amazing.
128 every day. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm a sucker for a good NFT project, especially a wearable. I'm kind of a wearables nerd. So
I
that's
think that's what's missing in most of the projects that we're looking at. It's just selling NFTs as JPEG, which is cool because at least artists,
yeah,
as you mentioned, they did. But if you can bring something else, that's when you start being like getting out of the whole noise, let's say.
yeah,
But yeah, it's what we've done. And also if you want to know, that will also help us continue building MyBanka, because it's a project we want to
right.
see. So just a quick parenthesis, we were in talks with Enchain for some kind of collaboration / investment, etc. But this was in July,
Yep.
just before
Mm.
Christina happened. And so at some point it didn't go through, and we said, okay, you know what, it's fine. We are self-sustainable. We are part of this ecosystem, and we want to drive it forward. And we want to
Yep.
work with people like you, and we want to onboard the community, and we want to show them what is possible. And if you want to support that, gifting these NFTs to people that you love is a really good way to showcase the power of fashion NFT, and also to provide some self-sustainability for us.
Incredible. Love it. Got a question from Erlich Bachman. Does Paul have an opinion on locking coins? Will MyBanka consider adding locking features like Panda Wallet?
Well, I don't have a strong opinion. I think who said that it is an indicator, like the number of coins that are locked. I think there are other ways to express oneself, but who am I to restrict the speech of someone who wants to express themselves via looking coins? I don't think right now we have the resources to add such a feature, but I totally respect and like what the looking coin concept does, and they have brought a lot of people there, and it works. I think it's quite a nice social effect that it has, but I think they are doing it well, so we don't plan right now to do that.
Yeah, no, good answer. Robin Smith asking, can you expand on why you think developer Luke Dash, is it Junior? I keep getting people saying it's Luke Dasher now, and maybe it's a Turkish name, and I'm like, no, he's a Polish guy in the US. But anyways, why do you think that he thinks ordinals are such a threat? I'm going to take this one. Luke is a crazy person. So he's one of
the cats.
The cat guy. Yeah, he
so definitely totally. Yeah.
That's, so he might have what's that parasite that you get from eating cat meat? There's a brain parasite. And what it does, it removes your inhibitions and your ability to make wise decisions. So there's like this parasite.
Things.
Like cats give it to rats because rats eat cat poop, and then the cats eat the rats, and it's got like this cycle. But the parasite propagates itself by infecting the brains of both animals and making them desire proximity to each other. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
Mr. Moon could probably look it up. Anyways, it's a fascinating thing, but it does infect people as well. And there's been speculation that people like who skydive or do other like scary things, they've had their inhibitions limited by infection from this parasite. So people that own cats and like scoop cat poop and stuff can get infected. So there's your cat trivia for the day. But as for Luke, the deal with him, I mean, he's advocated for BTC to hard fork to move the block size limit down to 300 kilobytes. Like all kinds of, he hates transactions. Okay. So if you start there, then anything that encourages transactions or makes it profitable to push transactions to BTC, that's a threat. So he's a crazy person. He has killed more businesses than maybe anybody else in Bitcoin. So like he destroyed Satoshi Dice. He destroyed counterparty tokens. This is all circa 2015-16 era. He was super involved in like the op return wars, and people are like, "Oh, cool, we can put some data in a Bitcoin transaction," and like that's novel. Well, he's killing it. There we go. Kevin Zalewski. I probably mostly said that right. Toxoplasmosis.
Yeah.
Oh, Google it. It's actually toxoplasmosis is fascinating. But yeah, no. Basically, Luke is a weird dude, like a very weird dude. He's also super interesting in a lot of ways too. He's not
but why do anyone listen to him? Who is he? Literally,
I mean, he's a co-founder of Blockstream, so that's take that for what you will.
But because the way let's finish. But the way I've seen a few of his tweets, he looks like he's feeling threatened by like loss of life, like he's gonna get killed if there are more transactions. There's a weird thing happening. It's like somebody has a gun, literal or metaphorical, on his head, so that it doesn't ever increase. And bro, what are you doing in that position? It's a comic show. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a weird character. I mean, he's the particularly conservative offshoot Catholic, which has a name that I also don't remember, but like they don't believe that the last several popes are valid popes. So he's kind of like the BSV of Catholicism, where it's like, no, man, the big church isn't the real Catholic church. So he's just very intense. He's very deeply opinionated. He's also very intelligent too, which is this can be a problem with a lot of people. You have a lot going on in your head, and so you start to see there's scary stuff going on everywhere. But yeah, he's I don't know, he has a moral like a holy war against transactions for whatever reason.
We will
let's move
lose
on, though.
that war, and we are going to make it. That's simple.
Love it.
It's the opposite that he has to do, so we will do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's another one. I'm worried that Ordinals has become an article of faith. Interesting. Because it exposes the underlying core incompetence. What is it good for in actuality? Paul, do you want to take this one, or should I take this one?
You can start. I'll chip in.
Okay. So if you're going to put data on chain, there's a lot of ways to do it. You can do it without attaching any Bitcoins to the data. So you can just like store it in op return, for example. And
will you keep that, Kurt? Will you keep it? How long? If
it's valuable. But yeah, if we start running out of time and space, or if we start having like sync problems with a multi exabyte size blockchain or something, yeah, op return data is going to be the first thing to be pruned.
Okay.
And that would be on our block building node, for example. Like, do we actually need op return data in the node that builds blocks after 1,000 blocks? Like, no, not really. We can keep it archival, and you can pay us to pull it back up. That would be an interesting business model.
But Kurt, that's an interesting question, actually, because so either you could publish data in an op return with 0 Satoshi, and you as a miner, you don't have any real incentive to keep it, except it's valuable, as you said, but you have to find its value in a different way than by the economical value of the Satoshi.
Yep.
But then if you start doing, and that's people that I've heard around me saying, okay, 1 Sat ordinals are fine, but then they're also kind of restrict to the usage of 1 Satoshi for that piece of information. So we now have a limited amount of piece of information that we can store. And that comes also with other kinds of problem, which we are far from reaching, but we might have to think about sometime.
Yep. So it's interesting because you should check out bitcoinschema.org, Robin, the gentleman asking the question, because it's a bunch of and Paul too. I think you'll love it, frankly. But so it's a bunch of ideas on how to build data structures on Bitcoin. So not just how to put data, but how to structure it in a way that it is interoperable. So this allows us to have like on-chain social media where you can have your one client or another. So a good example of this would be HODL Locker and Retrofeed. Both use Bitcoin schema, and so you can access both data, but in different interfaces that have different style and different whatever. You can can choose your experience, but the data is universal because it's on chain. Now, when Ordinals came out on BTC, I remember explaining to Luke Rowanaz, who I work with quite a bit, like, hey, have you looked at how Ordinals works? And he was a little bit like, I don't want to hear about some BTC token. But then I was like, no, I really think you should spend a weekend, like, look at how they're using it. And on Monday, he was like, dude, it's just like Bitcoin schema map, magic attribute protocol, except it uses a SAT. And if it uses a SAT, then you can transact it across the UTXO set, not just up in op return. And then it allows you to do a bunch of extra novel things. So you can have data that is not money data, or you can have data that is money data, and they can interplay with each other. So a really good example of why that might matter is, let's say you want to have a permanent DNS for an on-chain website. So you publish the website data as an ordinal, and then you publish the DNS information as an ordinal. And then you can access that information on that ordinal forever, from anywhere, from the chain, because it's not coming from Amazon or whatever else. So you can create censorship-proof internet, essentially. So this is how we start to create like this metanet concept that Craig's been talking about for 5 years. And then there's a million other really novel things that you can do with the idea, because you have like permanence and value associated to all of your data. And it's like, the things you can do become unlimited very quickly. So I think it's
really the realization. I agree with you, Kurt. It is very exciting. And I think it's the realization of Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to that. Bit and coin, data and economical value tied to that data.
Absolutely.
That sounds amazing.
Next question, Mr. Moon. We've got about 9 minutes left in the show here, which, man, these shows always go so fast, especially when I have a good guest. Paul, talk about your collaboration with Tegment Gaming, please.
Oh, that was amazing. I remember so we did a collaboration with Handcash and Tegment Gaming and our wallet, MyBanka. And it was very simple. You spin up a Counter-Strike Go. It was still CSGO at that time, not that long ago. You spin up a CSGO server and you do some tweaking there, and you add a payment server. And now you are listening to the data of the server, and every time there is a kill, a bomb that's been planted, or any kind of interaction, you can listen to that interaction and create some transaction out of that. And that's exactly what Tegment did. And on that particular day, we organized a Counter-Strike internet party, which was very fun. And I actually opened up my MyBanka wallet and I placed this just right here in front of me, and that was super fun, because then what happened is you put your name in the game as your payment, Paul at MyBankaEU, at Handcash, at etc. And when you do kills and you start playing, you will see in real time, because that's also the point of microtransaction, you will see in real time all the notification of every cents coming in. And that's actually, I noticed,
awesome.
It actually changed my behavior, Kurt. It changed my behavior because the way that Tegment had set up that server is you get more money for planting the bomb than you get for killing someone. And the first thing, if you've played, do you play Counter-Strike? Have you played Counter-Strike?
I don't. I mean, I know what it looks like, but I have no time for video games since
I get that.
father.
I don't have a lot of time either. But it's a nice game, and I grew up with it, and I love it, and actually changed my behavior for the first time, because for the last 10 years, whenever I play it, first thing I do is I take this bomb, I throw it away, thank you, and I go and kill. But all of a sudden, it was 5 times more to plant that bomb to kill someone. It's like, wait a second, I changed my behavior. And that was when I realized, wow, okay, even microtransaction can have a powerful effect in changing people's behavior. And you can imagine that on all kind of things. Imagine getting a microtransaction for actually recycling, for actually not throwing things in the street, or there is so many things that can be done. And it's just enabled via microtransaction that only properly works on Bitcoin SV.
Yeah, no, amen. That's I think it's so obvious. Mr. Moon, how many more questions do we have? It looks like we got a few more. Oh, what is Bamboo? Okay. Have you been following any of I think this is an LRC20 token. So this is lock to mint. We should have Dan Wagner on. Dan, if you're watching, we've been trying to get you on the show, bro. So Bamboo is a fungible token built as an extension of one-sat ordinals, and it is a specific lock to mint token. So you have to lock coins with a specific contract on BSV, and then you mint those coins. And in order to mint the tokens, you have to lock BSV for a certain amount of time. And so I don't know if Panda Wallet is using it as like a native token, so I don't know what else they're doing with it. It seems like it might have something to do with, their internal ecosystem. Or maybe it's just a test token and their Panda Wallet, so it's Bamboo token, but I don't really know all the details there. But essentially, one thing that BSV does not have figured out really well just yet is how to have an interoperable fungible token protocol that is that everybody agrees on. Everybody loves one-set ordinals for NFT related stuff, but how do we do fungibles? It looks like fungibles, people are trying to play with the BSV20 standard, which is like an extension. So essentially you issue the asset on ordinals and then they're spendable up in the next level, essentially. But that's all kind of being worked on. So that's a fluid response right now. And that's all I know about Bamboo. I don't know what I don't know. Next one, please. From this is Kevin on the Gorilla Pool account asking, Paul, per our London chat, are you still singing in a choir? Any door-to-door Christmas caroling planned?
Actually, yes. To both questions. I'm still singing in a choir Thursday evening, every Thursday evening. And on the Saturday, which will be the 16th of this month, we will be singing in a homeless shelter. So we have one of our members who cares for people in a homeless shelter, and since it's becoming cold here in Belgium, quite cold at this time of the year, they have all these amenities, clothing, food, and I think a small place to sleep. And we're going to go there, and we are going to be singing. I think I just received the email with the list a few days ago, so I have to study a little bit. But we will be singing 12 songs, including 3 Christmas songs. Yes, definitely,
That's incredible.
It's amazing.
That's a lot of fun, Mr.
It
Moon.
feels good.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I also like to say I haven't sung in choir. Oh wow, magic thumbs up. I haven't sung in a choir since maybe middle school, so I don't remember. I have no idea if I'd be any good at it now. But I do like to sing. I play guitar and some other stuff too. So maybe someday we'll do a BSV talent show. All right, Mr. Moon. Another question. I think we have one more, maybe 2 more, and then we can start to wrap up here. Question for Kurt. In CoinGeek, you mentioned that a more robust stablecoin is required. Can you please say what for and why? I think interacting with the real world economy requires people think in fiat. Now, things like USDC and USDT, like they serve a very important purpose, but they both do it in a very unhealthy way. They do it in a way that is worse than central banking, because it is like a mix of all the problems with central banking and all the problems with like corporatism and corruption. And so it's worse fiat money in a lot of ways, but it's good for a couple of specific things, which is essentially just trading and creating a liquidity pair. And BSV doesn't have that. We don't have it basically anywhere. But if you look at some of the stuff that Xiaowei Liu, who was our guest last week, has been up to the last like month and a half, he's created like on-chain order book smart contract or an on-chain limit orders and these kind of things that allow us, rather than sending money to Binance or sending it into Uniswap or Aave or some of these other things that exist in the Ethereum, where there's like a little bit of trust required, he has made it that an S-script contract makes it that you can just simply offer a trade to Bitcoin. Just offer it to BSV. Now, the problem is, how do I get my dollars on BSV? And that is a question that is not answered. Now, there's things like Troy Money and some of these other things like Garrett Krause is working on. He had his dust up kerfuffle with tokenized, and that's all kind of being retooled and stuff. But what we need a couple of things. We need really good custodianship. We need somebody that can issue real world assets on chain. They have all the licensing and all of that stuff figured out. When that happens, we can have not just fiat dollar stable coins, but we can have things like gold and platinum or maybe even simpler commodities. You can trade oil or whatever. And if they are tokens and valid on chain, then it allows us to completely do our trading in open script, in Bitcoin script. No need for trust. No need to have any custodian of your Bitcoins, of your trades. And then all we're doing is trusting like real world custodians. And in his case, it was Brinks and StoneX and some of the like big old companies that are already custodying like trillions of dollars worth of assets.
It's true.
So
that's an amazing project, that tokenizing gold and all these metals, and it's just
huge.
And as you said, S-script creating this way of creating the order book on the blockchain without the need of a third party. So all these things are coming together, and they can be quite revolutionary. I think it's
yes.
I'd like to see that play. And by the way, we've been approached by Garrett, and we will be, however, whenever they implement that, we will be supporting these Troy Gold's token and all the other tokens in our MyBanka wallet, because that's we believe the future. And definitely,
it's necessary. It is the bridge that we need to get real people using assets on chain and really show the power of both. It makes both better. It makes Bitcoin better, and it makes the old world commodities and all that stuff better. So it is 3:00. Mr. Moon, do we have anything else to show? Is Christmas Doggy collection? Oh, can it be delivered to India?
That's a really great question.
Good question.
I don't know by heart all the countries. We do deliver to the whole of Europe, most of Northern America. We do deliver to Australia and some little Asian countries. But when you go and shop for it, you will see the full list. When you will try to buy, you will see the full list. If your country is there, it simply means we can deliver to your home. If it's not there, then right now we can't.
Yep. Good answer. Should we play the ad one more time? Should we? What else can we do, Mr. Moon? You got that ad queued up? Let's fire away. It's so much fun. All right. Paul, thank you so much for coming back on the show.
Thank you for having me.
and have a Merry Christmas.
Exactly the same. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Kurt. See
All
you.
right. Take care. Talk soon. All right, everybody. So that was Paul DeBuck, one of my favorite guests, and frankly, one of the nicest guys. I didn't really know him too well when we first met. He just was, another guy building something on Bitcoin, and had a really good talk with him the first time we spoke. Really liked him, and then we spent a good amount of time hanging out in London around the London Blockchain Conference, and had a couple of meals together and stuff. He ended up being one of the best guys to hang out with. So if you get a chance, go hang out with Paul, and also maybe come to London Blockchain Conference coming this coming May 2024, coming up soon. So yeah, that's all I got for today. I'm Kurt Wickert Jr. This has been the CoinGeek Weekly live stream, and thank you to Alex Moon and everybody else that makes this show possible. Family, friends, the people that pay the bills, and all the rest. Be good to each other, and if we can be good to each other, maybe we deserve to win this little thing. And so yeah, get out there, enjoy your holidays, wind down, take a little time for yourself, and all the rest. And I will see you next week. We're gonna have a special ensemble show. I think it's gonna be like the holiday sort of year in review thing. So like, subscribe, hit the alert bell so you know that it's coming up. I will see you next week. Goodbye.
The traditional banks, they suffer from huge legacy problem because they have, hundreds, thousands of branch to run. Whereas people like us, we just have our own security, in terms of cloud and all the necessary things that we have to have in place. And that's why we're passing all those benefits to our users.
For more from Michael Simeon, join me, Charles Miller, on this week's CoinGeek Conversations.